Hey there, thanks for tuning in for the top 7 rock cuts of the week. Here's the rocks that we'll be taking a look at. We've got some really cool ones. Welcome back to all the current subscribers. Thanks so much. If you are new to the channel, I hope you like the video and consider subscribing. All the rocks were found in northern Nevada by me and cut on a 7-inch tile saw. Make sure to let me know your favorites down in the comments, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's check out this rock. So you can see there's a little bit of pattern on that side we were just looking at, and the majority of the rock is a reddish brown color. There's a bit of pattern showing through in places, but mostly the side that we're panning around to now is where there was any sort of pattern visible and the most color variation. So let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of this one. And that is really cool. So this is a classic Lahontan Jasper pattern with the browns and reds and yellow, and then the light colored white interior with the deep red veins that you can see. And on one part of the rock, it has more of a yellow banding that you can see and yellow in the veins that are filled in. And on the other half, it's more of the red on white. They're both somewhat similar, but a little bit different, as you can see. Let's take a look at the other half. Really nice patterns and really nice color contrast. I love this type of jasper. It was one of the things that got me rock hounding in the first place. This is a cool example of it with the yellow or gold and red. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, you can see it's a reddish color, and we've got some white or some crystal veins that look like are running through the rock, maybe inclusions, but it looks like a sort of crystal material. And on the inside, that is really pretty. So that's kind of a red or strawberry colored agate or crystal material, and the inclusions are a bright white. I'm not sure exactly what we've got going on here in terms of what the inclusions might be, or if this just is a brecciated stone. It's very striking and very pretty. Take a little bit of a closer look at the individual halves, and the red and white or pink and white just provides a really nice contrast in colors. Let me know if you see anything interesting in those inclusions. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, there's not a whole lot that we can tell. It's a lighter colored material, white, off-white with a little bit of brown. That kind of looked like a face there on that side. It looks like there's maybe a little bit of green. There's a bit of pitting that's going on, but that's about all we can tell from the exterior. Hopefully the inside of the rock is a little bit more exciting than that face looked, and that is really nice. So we have peach or almost orange banding along with green that's running throughout, and it's kind of wavy or chaotic patterned. Really pretty. There's actually little bits of stone too that are kind of peppered throughout the orange, peach, and green bands that are the primary colors going on. Take a little bit of a closer look and you can see some of the smaller flecks in there. Really interesting, really pretty. I haven't found one that looks exactly like this before, not with these colors. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we've got a pretty classic red potato rock. There are some lighter spots of coloration where the dark red goes to almost a pink, mostly on the top there. This black is not actually a part of the rock. I think those are just kind of scuff marks from being hit. It gets a little bit lighter on this side. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside, and that is really pretty. So this is nice Wonderstone colors with some nice banding, but not the way we usually see it with the Wonderstone out here. This is more of a landscape jasper in a Wonderstone color palette, pinks and purples and reds. Let's take a closer look here. So there's almost a central eye, and then the bands kind of radiate out from that, and then there's a little bit of black that is speckled throughout the rock, which is quite striking. Really, really pretty one. I'm never quite sure what's going to be inside the potato rocks, and this one was definitely a pleasant surprise. Really like these colors. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we've got some yellow coloration and brown that is covered with a little bit of white material, which I've been told is called caliche, and it's made up of a couple different minerals. Where I've got the arrow here looked like a streak of breccia running through the stone, and I was interested in that and the gold yellow color. So let's take a look at the inside, and that is pretty neat. So we have a lot of breccia running through here, lots of fragments of stone, and then it's almost like it was splashed with the gold yellow color and a little bit of red and then a white streak. Really interesting. Let's take a closer look at the individual halves. This is a pretty unique one in terms of how it looks. Most of the fragments of rock here look like they're blank, and the staining or the coloration to them is just on the surface or not that deep. I almost wonder if I took a different slice, how that would affect the coloration. But really pretty, some nice yellows, and then the white streak is kind of interesting. The rock itself is good quality. It already looks polished. Pretty cool. Okay, let's check out this rock. So this is another somewhat small piece, but from the outside, it's mostly covered in this yellowish brown patina, but there's a bit of color that's showing through also, which is what made it kind of interesting, and a little bit of pattern. And that is really nice. So there's actually an eye that's formed on the top part of the rock. I could see it a little bit when it was wet just before we opened it. If you back the video up, I hadn't seen it before. And that comes through in shades of yellow and brown. There are some veins in the rock. Most of it is a yellowish gold and red kind of Wonderstone palette color. From this angle, the eye almost looks like a gear if you expand the perimeter to the red band. Maybe I'm just seeing things. But a really pretty rock. And last but certainly not least, we've got this guy. As you can see, this rock has a thick brown desert patina on it. It's almost like a dark chocolate brown. That's what intrigued me about it in the first place and why I picked it up. It was smooth, had an interesting divot up there in the top that you can see here, and I actually tried to polish the rock a little bit by hand to see what was underneath, but that was unsuccessful, and luckily several years later I now have a saw. So let's take a look finally at what is inside here. And that is pretty cool. We have a lot of pattern and color going on, actually, from the outside. That's a bit of a surprise. So there is yellow, especially down towards the bottom, and then red, and then some grayscale as well. And then it looks like, let's take a little bit of a closer look. Yeah, there's some banding that's going on in the left-hand area here that's really pretty, and actually all of it is a bit prettier than I thought it was at first. It goes from more uniform banding to then a bit of fractured and chaotic banding on the right side there, but really interesting and really unique. Always nice to find a cool surprise, and nice to see what was in this one after all that time. Very cool. Thanks so much for tuning in for the top 7 rock cuts of the week. If you made it this far, please give the video a like. And if you're not currently subscribed, please subscribe to see more videos like this one. And to all the current subscribers, thanks again so much for checking this video out. And please let me know your comments and your favorites down below. And I will see you next time.